Real God of love, light versus false God of hate, darkness, demiurge. Lucifer was never the king of darkness, he was a prince, servant to darkness, demiurge. When Lucifer, Shamediel, and his fallen angels got cast out of heaven, they came and met the rulers of darkness and the armies of hell. These weird-sounding names actually exist. Demiurge are principalities, rulers of darkness. The worst principality of the 10 sons of darkness calls himself God. The beast who all religions worship. Abrahamic religions are not what they claim to be and all contradict each other. Same names, different accounts to confuse. The real Abraham was filled with love and was never told to sacrifice his first child. By adding these lies, evil people in high places can deceive people and say God demanded human sacrifice, and tell people who want to be famous or rich to bring their loved ones, because even God demanded sacrifice. That's why Jesus his son died as a final sacrifice. It's not true at all. Just because Yeshua was murdered and he was humble, being led like a lamb, and died because of wickedness, sadly like many other people, but and killed by the same overly religious people, does not mean that was the meaning. God sent Yeshua, and they spoke before in heaven, saying if they reject you and even cause you to be put to death, I will cause you to live again to prove to people of eternal life. Because imagine Yeshua taught all these words, then just got killed. People may love his words but be too afraid to follow and just forget about what he said and done. Now because they saw the man teach and do good and be killed, then rise up again and walk around, they now had solid proof of eternal life and that everything Yeshua was saying about heaven is the ultimate truth and will all live again, and goodness is more powerful than evil. They did everything to end him, but failed, and he could have ended them, but left them, because life is a school and you will learn and reap what you sow. Whether someone seeks revenge or not, life will teach us all a timely lesson. It was not as Paul said, perfect sacrifice and so on. This is the greater truth. Blood sacrifice is abomination and a Jewish tradition. They say Moses brought the law, and this is where they switched God's image for a lesser false entity, demiurge, a lesser god of fear and hate who says he's a jealous God and so on. If Moses brought the law and is the only one who write this false creation story, why did Jeremiah the prophet in the Bible say in Jeremiah 8 verse 8, for how can you say we are wise and we have the law, when in fact the lying pens of scribes have handled it falsely? Right there Jeremiah exposes and reveals says in the scriptures that it's been corrupted and they've put lies in the meant to be holy scriptures. By claiming Moses brought the law and wrote the Genesis story, the lying scribes lied and created the biggest twist in the creation story. Many people lived before Moses, like Abraham, Enoch, Noah, Joseph, all the way to Adam, but somehow Moses, who lived over thousands of years even after Noah, is the one who wrote Genesis story about the beginning. The real Moses existed, but he never wrote that nonsense they've deceived the world into thinking. They just used some of his history and things that he wrote, and wrote a whole another story, where they used the false image of demiurge evil God who demands blood and animal sacrifice. The whole stories about commanding murder and blood sacrifice from Cain and Abel throughout the Old Testament is a great big lie, to not give a true account of the actual story and make the world worship this beast as God. If you choose to be complacent and ignorant and fearful to question and look into this deeper, God will leave you to believe what you want, where you think it's God sending people to hell and is a jealous being like the evil dark demiurge evil being, who actually hates God, why he commands people to worship his and claim to be the true God. He is not God and part of the kingdom of darkness who fight against God for souls. Yeshua himself told the Jewish people their father is Satan, and only revealed this truth about this false God who's been lying and claiming to be God from the beginning of time. He revealed this only to his disciples even after death. So if you read the Jesus story you will never hear him talk about the original sin, Adam and Eve's sin, nor his original disciple spoke about Adam and Eve's sin. Only Paul and Timothy spoke about Adam and Eve's sin and making women be silent in church and so on because they never knew this mystery. They was not there when Yeshua rose and preached to the 500 plus people and his 12 original apostles. They introduced blood sacrifice and abominations by switching God, making women less, claiming God used to seek blood to appease. It's all deception. True God don't care if people have many different beliefs or opinions because all will be eventually revealed in the right appointed time. True God only cares if you love your neighbor and seek not to harm others. True God is not offended by people's different religious beliefs or if they're atheist or not. He only careth that we be humane.